In 2003, the Antwerp Diamond Center was considered the most secure building in the world outside of Fort Knox. 80% of the world's uncut diamonds pass through these 3 square blocks. It is a fortress of commerce. 2 levels underground sits a vault. It is protected by 10 layers of state-of-the-art security, a Doppler radar system, a magnetic field detector, a seismic sensor, infrared heat detectors, a lock with 100 million possible combinations, and a foot-long steel key that cannot be duplicated. The police said it was impenetrable. They said it was impossible to rob. Enter Leonardo Notarbartolo, an Italian charmer with a smile that could melt steel and a criminal record that read like a movie script. He didn't see a fortress, he saw a puzzle. Leonardo didn't storm the building with guns, he rented an office there. For 2 years, he posed as a diamond merchant. He wore a suit, he spoke French, he bought small stones. He was playing the long game. He wasn't just working, he was casing the joint. He had a tiny camera hidden in his pen. He memorized the guard rotations. He even sprayed thermal hairspray on the sensor beams to test their sensitivity. But he couldn't do it alone. He assembled a team of specialists from Italy. They had nicknames that sound like comic book villains. The Genius, an electronics wizard who could disable alarms with his eyes closed. The Monster, a giant of a man who could pick any lock and lift heavy machinery. The King of Keys, an old man who could forge a key just by looking at a photograph of the lock. It was the weekend of the tennis championships. The city was distracted. The guards were relaxed. The crew entered the building through a garage door they had rigged days earlier. They climbed the stairs to the vault anteroom. Now, they faced the sensors. The genius pulled out a can of cheap women's hairspray. He sprayed the thermal sensor. Why? Because the hairspray creates a thin film that temporarily blinds the sensor to heat. Simple. Next, the magnetic field. If they opened the vault door, 2 magnets would separate, breaking the field and triggering the alarm. The genius took out a roll of electrical tape and a simple styrofoam block. He taped the magnets together so the system thought the door was still closed, even when they swung it open. It was grade school physics defeating million-dollar technology. They were in. For the next 4 hours, they worked in total silence. They didn't have time to open every box, so they went for the ones Leonardo had marked. They filled duffel bags with diamonds, gold bars, and cash. They were standing knee-deep in jewels. But here's the discipline: they didn't get greedy. They knew exactly how much time they had before the morning guard rotation. At 5 a.m., they cleaned up, they swept the floor, they took their tools, they even took the surveillance tapes. They walked out with $100 million in loot. And nobody knew a thing. The police arrived and were baffled. No forced entry, no alarms triggered. The sensors were still active. It was the perfect crime. The detectives admitted they were impressed. But remember the monster, the fast-driving getaway man? His name was Speedy, and Speedy was anxious. As they were driving back to Italy on the highway, Speedy had a panic attack. He was convinced the police were following them. He pulled the car over near a forest in Belgium and said, "We have to dump the evidence." Leonardo screamed at him, "No, we burn it." But Speedy was shaking. He grabbed a garbage bag filled with the half-eaten remains of their lunch, the receipts for their tools, and the surveillance tapes. He threw the bag into the bushes. This is the part that hurts. A local hermit, a man who lived in the woods, found the bag. He didn't care about the tapes. He was angry that someone had littered on his property. He called the police to complain about the littering. The police arrived expecting to write a ticket. Instead, they found a receipt for a video surveillance system bought by Leonardo Notarbartolo. They found a half-eaten salami sandwich. They ran the DNA on the sandwich. It was a match for the genius, the perfect crime, the $100 million heist, the 10 layers of security, all undone by a half-eaten sandwich and a grumpy hermit. Leonardo was arrested when he returned to the Diamond Center to check on his office, a move of pure arrogance. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. But here is the kicker. The police recovered the trash bag. They found the tools, they found the tapes, but they never found the diamonds. To this day, over $100 million in loose diamonds is still missing. Leonardo served his time and was released. He is now a free man living in Italy. He claims the heist was actually an insurance fraud setup and that the vault was already empty, but no one believes him. Or maybe, just maybe, he's sitting in a villa right now, wearing a very nice watch, laughing about the sandwich that made him famous.